Start. Mrs. Kellert is going to teach you a few things today too, but let's deal with a few things here first. First of all, put these into somebody's hands at your table. Same person, okay? All right. Second thing, yes, you absolutely need to be documenting your plant, its growth, other things that are going on. Is there condensation? Is all your water dried up? Has your plant declared itself suicidal and jumped out the window? All of those things need to be documented on, perfect. Fold it in half. There you go. On a daily basis at the same time would be perfect, and we're looking for those details in your lab notebook. Without the details, it's no good, right? So, somebody over here already has a 3-inch plant.
Good job, someone.
I don't know whose it is. Is it yours? Yeah. There is growth in several of them. I am amazed that there was growth in a 3-day time period. Here's part of, ready? Still my turn. Those saplings, which is not probably the correct term for a plant, but those little things should be pictorialized.
What is pictured?
Pictured.
Documentation. Detail.
Everything. And that either means that you are drawing, which I'll be honest with you, a lot of scientists draw.
I can't draw, Mrs. Schneider.
Then what are you going to do, kiddo? Take a picture. Take a picture. Document it. I like the pictures now because it's time-stamped. So think about those things. Huh? On your phone.
Through your settings.
Yeah. Right. And it'll even remember like weeks afterwards, like when I upload all of my pictures from my iPhone to the iCloud, it puts them into nice little folders for me based upon the time and date, and it's like I don't even have to think anymore.
That's what my camera does.
Yes. So, all right. So does that answer those questions? She has a question. What happens if we like get deathly ill and we have to miss a day of school?
Well, we're screwed.
You should document that in your lab notebook, right?
I have Ebola and I'm not
If you have Ebola, we want to test you.
Don't remember Ebola in school.
Come to school.
Hunter
Everybody.
had a great sample he showed me this morning of his sickness. I appreciate that. There you go. All right. Hi, Mrs. Kellert. How are you? Oh, she can't see me if I point this way, though.
Great and wonderful.
Are you, Mrs. Ask her.
Are you all home today?
What's that?
Are you guys home? Are you home today?
I am. I was working from home this morning, and then I realized if I went all the way back to the office, I would be late for class, and I couldn't have that.
You don't need to go to class.
Sit down with that. Yeah. Who has these? Do you want this? I don't know where to put this.
I don't know where to put this either. We got to put it somewhere by the speaker, I suppose,
You know
so
what?
the sound gets picked up.
Sure, we could do that. Right there.
But we should stop the rotation.
Sit, kiddo. Sit over there with your lab notebook and watch the screen.
Get this about there.
No, you want. I'll let you know when you need it, okay? Mrs. Kellert, the big screen is yours.
What's that?
You're on, kiddo.
Ow!
Your turn. You're in charge.
Not very nice,
My
Mrs.
turn, I'm in
Schneider.
charge?
Yes. Go for
Oh
it.
my goodness. Okay, so if you guys go on to Edmodo, there is an activity that is a follow-up activity from the biome activity you guys did on Friday. So you guys did a great job doing all of your biome constructions, cutting materials, putting dirt in there. That was great. And so Mr. and Mrs. Schneider and I thought that we should give you guys some follow-up questions just to check that some of those questions you were asking us, that you actually know the answers to those now. And if you don't, we can give you an opportunity to research those answers, find out what those are in the form of an assignment. So it should be the top of the Edmodo post for your class. It says biome follow-up questions. And then I put in there not only my email address, but my cell phone number as well. So if you're working on this after class today, you should be able to get most of it done today, and I encourage you to do that since I'm here right now, Mr. and Mrs. Snyder are here in class. Now would be a good time to work on it, and then whatever you don't finish in time, you can take home and work on. And if you have questions, you can text me, email me, text or email Mr. and Mrs. Schneider. All that information is there for you.
Oh, you broke her.
We broke her? I don't think she's broken. You guys have a million questions for us when we throw something at you. I know the first question I would ask. Do you have to leave us alone?
Do you hate us?
I don't hate you, not today. It's
Okay.
only Monday, until Friday.
Oh,
Ask me again on Friday.
You said you hate
She always hates me every single day of every
I
minute
do,
of the
that
day.
is a true statement, yes.
We know.
Paige is right there in my hate list.
Same. She always hates me.
That would be the first question I would ask. Mrs. Keller, can they work on this together? Do you want them to work on this alone?
They can absolutely work together, as long as they're not just copying each other's answers, right? This is something you guys should be talking about, coming to an agreement on what you think the right answer is, and then putting it into the assignment.
Ah.
Okay.
Mr. Schneider,
Awesome.
the other speaker.
I don't know what you did, but now, yeah, she's muffled now, so.
Mrs. Schneider,
Yes.
question for you. If these fail, are we allowed to redo it and modify it?
Yeah, we don't like to modify, no.
So we'll just redo our
Mrs. Schneider,
Yes, and some of you will fail with these.
Yes.
I already know
Mine's
that I'm
going in
probably gonna
mine.
fail,
So,
and what I wanna do differently already,
I mean, it's a
so
little
whenever
bit,
that
it's still
time
good.
comes,
document that
I'll
stuff.
do it on my own.
Document that stuff
I
now
can't-
as
I
it goes
haven't
along,
seen
yes.
mine.
Yes, you may.
Heather, is the sound better for you now?
Oh, that's my.
A little bit. You unplugged something or plugged something in, and it was really crystal clear for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, that was the Bluetooth.
Okay.
But let me.
Go, go, go.
I'm white.
Are you listening to music or no?
Yeah, absolutely.
I've just killed the Bluetooth. Is that better?
I'm out of here.
Oh, I can't hear it all now.
Is there
Okay,
a-
that's just my computer speakers.
Huh, what?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a lot better,
Okay.
unfortunately.
If that's the way you want to be,
Things are happening. What?
that's the way it should be.
She said she had posed it,
Yeah.
so I was confused. What was this?
I wonder if I can change the
No, you go over there.
input and output separately, if it will allow that.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll worry about that later.
No, you shouldn't.
I shall.
That's nice. I did.
Okay.
Charlie, you wanna go?
There's design choice.
Aw, I keep forgetting my mouse.
I love the first question. Why? Oh, I love the first question.
I don't like this thing. I haven't even looked at it. Yeah, for a person that's won something international in Colorado.
Oh, I thought you were, oh my god.
You got it, Alex.
Alex, be quiet, you're smart.
The heat has been done. The heat. Yeah.
Oh.
Wait, if Aaron just hits it hard, then we're all screwed. Yeah, true. 400,000 last year. Alex will probably be the smartest person this year. He means 40 cylinder in his container, right? So he goes around that volume.
I love the last question.
I was gonna say,
Of the same
Can I get rid of
amount
this?
volume
How could you measure for?
in
Picture?
for his container.
There we go.
Outside, right?
I like
What-
Mrs.
how
Keller's
many
face
hours?
much better than that.
Can I go look at my bed?
Yes, go, look at your stuff, so you can use actual tangibles, you can do a lot of different things here.
I mean, it's easy to tell someone I'm gonna fill it up like with, like the item for
Yeah,
it.
guys, these questions are not meant to be super easy. They're meant to make you do a little bit of research, talk to each other, look in your lab notebooks, try to figure out what these answers could possibly be. That's what we're trying to get you guys good at this part of the year, is being really good problem solvers. And from there, you'll be able to take off and answer any question anytime. But yeah, these aren't your normal simple math or science questions where they just ask you to plug in a number or take a measurement. You actually have to think about what these are asking and where you want to go from there. And please ask me, ask the Schneiders. Don't just sit there and feel really frustrated. We're here for you if you need us.
And you're doing the right thing. Talk to Erica like you were doing. Try to come up with a question. Try to come up with a solution to that.
But why did I cut you off? And that's something that
What
we
do you
all
want?
need to be aware
Can't
of.
even see mine.
Why did I cut Gracie off? Because Mrs. Keller's talking and Mrs. Keller can't necessarily hear, and then everybody else can't necessarily hear. And with the technology deal, when she's talking, we all gotta shut up unless I can get
I'm
close
sorry,
to you
guys, I
and
didn't realize someone else was talking.
No, that's,
it's okay.
no.
You can't, because you can't see everything that I can see, and Gracie's not on your screen. So we need to be aware of that. She's not doing it to be rude. When she starts talking, we have to stop, or else we're rude. And that's the way that goes. That's true in online meetings as well, which you will do eventually, and you're doing right now, depending on your point of view. So, you two continue with your back and forth. That was good stuff. And anybody else that has issues, she's working on a PhD in math education, not just math. So she's not just a brainiac. She's supposed to be able to talk to you and help you out with it too.
Got it.
Do I have string? There used to be string back there with all of that stuff. There used to be string under here.
What if we change her, just
Just because she's smart.
do you want the other? Okay, there you go.
That's not cool. You can't do that.
Yeah, you're smart.
Just saying, let me get you.
Well
said, question of the questions.
Actually, Jamin, don't do that. Here, bud.
Oh, God.
Jamin.
Yeah, whoever did that, don't. That's not my favorite sound. That's squeal. Okay. And if it's not there, I don't know. But I do know there are other options other than string.
We also have the internet.
Height.
Bottom shelf, right next to the phone. In that little box, right in front of your left knee. When you get out of your chair, push it in.
What is that there? We're gonna try to figure out something. Dude, that's so cool right there.
Has Isabel been gone all day?
She came to Mr. Mutter's house and then she left. Thank you very much.
Did we use all the potting stuff?
Yeah. I think we did.
From my garden right by.
I was gonna say, I was gonna use some for our garden, our backyard, but it says one, forgot.
I like to be looking for your.
So I'm just waiting for the day to be modified, so I do it right now, honestly.
Yeah, I'm trying to help you with your potting soil. Yeah. Right here. What is I like this dog? I like the Cowboys too.
How you doing, guys? Not the greatest. How come? All right, so we're gonna do hydroponics.
I have a question for you.
Hydroponics is
Yes, go for it.
hydroponics.
So your second question, I don't get it.
Just
What about would be or number two?
It's like in the first question, what does word dirt look like? What are you trying to
Can you take this label off?
What could 4 inches of dirt look like?
Curious what dirt looks like or what?
I'm just trying to get at, this is Mr. Schneider's question too, not just mine. A lot of you guys were, you have your diagrams, 4 inches of dirt. And if you needed to get that amount of dirt, why wouldn't that make sense to ask someone for 4 inches of dirt? How might they interpret that?
Because that can mean different things, like 4 square inches of dirt.
Exactly. And so that's your answer to that second part of the question. What could 4 inches of dirt look like? It could be 4 square inches, it could be 4 cubic inches, it could be 4 milliliters, there are all sorts
4
of different
inches in a
units.
coffee cup, 4 inches in these 2 containers, 4 inches in a 5-gallon bucket.
Okay.
Yep, there's your answer, so you knew it.
4 inches of dirt is all.
I answered that without even knowing that.
That would be a different amount of dirt, right?
Yeah.
4 square inches.
That's why you can't measure dirt in inches. Did you get it? Let's try this. See this is where it's glued? Let's go away from the glue. Oh, that'll work. You can do that now, right? Not trying to scissors? See if you can get the scissors in there. Oh, there it went. Don't stab yourself. Piece of cake. You got it now.
We're gonna do hydroponics.
Oh, sweet. Might work. Good idea. I'll go get a trash can.
I do. Nope.
What are they called? Scientific measurement places that are.
The graduated cylinders?
Yeah, because you have bigger ones than like they're like this, right? They can be.
I don't.
Or what are they called when they're like this round? They measure like millimeters.
Probably would simply be called a volumetric cylinder at that point.
Yes, okay, but if you get centimeters and put it in the liter,
Okay, so
volume of containers,
So-
you're still gonna have the same amount
can
of
they
dirt.
be used to
Just
measure like?
You can't measure dirt in centimeters.
Yeah. We're not sure millimeters. It's all fine.
I think. Page.
I don't understand what she's getting at.
If you
I
have-
don't
I
understand.
can help you with that. If you have 4 centimeters of dirt in a coffee cup,
Okay,
and you have 4 centimeters of dirt in a big plastic cup, is that the same amount of dirt?
no.
So it's the same as
That's
what
what
you
she's
said
getting
about
at.
inches. You can't just change it into centimeters because you can't measure.
Okay, so you need the area that you're trying to perfect there.
Kind of. You're getting closer.
said that off the bat.
How many dimensions is inches and centimeters?
3, 2,
Sure?
1.
3, 2, 1.
How about we look it up?
And then how many dimensions is area?
2.
You sure? Okay.
Dimensions.
And how many dimensions is,
Slow down.
how much stuff is in that plastic tub over there?
That'd be 3.
Yeah, that's, sometimes that stuff doesn't want to come off.
How many dimensions?
Area is 2.
Thumbnail? Yeah, it's not gonna come off. That's okay.
No,
It's not a big deal.
Slim. Did you have those bowls?
that way going out.
2.5 houses.
No, I'm just.
Range, we're trying to keep it conventional.
Don't just sit there and rock out and stare off into space.
But I was reading the next question.
I'm just checking. Make sure we're getting out of there.
I'm trying.
Give me 2 inches. Use this. Give me 2 inches.
Area inside.
Actually, pour that in there. It is. So we're getting the fingers in there. Why can't we measure your inches? Science is all about measurement is all about reproducible. Distance, areas, volume. Volumetric cylinder.
Okay, so. Can you turn inches away?
Does it look like you can? What do they both measure?
Wait, so this is,
Heather, the question I just got asked was, can you turn cubic inches into a cup?
Oh, that's a good question.
Did you all hear that question?
She's looking at a website where you punch one in and you get the other one out.
Nice, those are really helpful websites. I think Google does that too.
In geometry, a cup is what kind of a measure? How many dimensions? A cup is a three-dimensional thing? One second. And if it's 3 dimensions, what does that measure in science? It's a Weaver.
Volume.
Measures volume. What's that?
So like, what's the formula for
Circumference, which is the area, you wanna find the
Yeah.
area, and then times it by height, so
So with the height being
circumference
4?
times pi
know what you're
by 4 inches, but if you remember, you measured
Oh.
centimeters.
He wants to ask Mrs. Keller how big she's having.
2.54.
Yes. Come on. You can do it.
Go ahead.
Centimeters.
You ask.
A lot of work.
If you wanna know, you ask.
Yeah,
No, she's not getting ready to ask.
I love questions, please ask me, whoever that is.
She's not gonna hurt you.
She won't hurt you.
She lives in Ohio. She's a
She
long way
can't
away.
hurt you.
You can do it, bud.
Go
It takes
ahead.
like 11
I'll
hours
come
to
with
drive
you.
there.
I'll come with you. All right, ready? First you say, hi. Oh, there you go. Okay, first say congratulations, Mrs. Keller. No, you can say that.
On what? What did I do?
What is she doing? On a baby, right?
Oh,
And-
gosh.
And what was,
Thank you.
what did you want to know? What, ask her.
Is it a boy?
It's a girl, actually. We just found out a few weeks ago.
It's okay, we'll forget her.
Yeah.
Because boys are always better, right? Yeah.
Miss Schneider.
Yeah.
I wanted a boy, actually.
Square.
And
I didn't do that on.
I'll do a girl.
How to put a square?
It'll work out either way. Yes.
I figured it out.
All right, buddy. Ready?
Because we want to measure your
Alright. So,
Would it
Here's what
technically be
Okay.
a cylinder?
to figure out.
and figure out milliliters.
Got the letter down.
Figure out milliliters and milliliters. Milliliters.
What do you
No
think?
way. No.
I think you should tell them
Yeah.
What does your research tell you?
that we didn't do research.
Oh, so maybe you should be doing research. Who broke it? John. Group was bad. It's off now.
Yeah, I want to know. It goes back on.
How's that gonna help you with your assignment? So, at this point, Heather, I don't think you need to be on the big screen anymore. So,
That is totally fine. I'm
gonna
actually a
go-
little self-conscious being up there. My face looks really big.
I'm gonna, well, yeah, everybody does. We did it to Dr. Shelley and things last year too. Now, I'm gonna drop you on a table.
I'll break it.
Okay,
Who wants help? Math,
I'll
Gene.
be right there in your face.
I'm
You
good
can ask
for
me
now.
questions about
Maybe just a
anything.
little bit.
Oh my God, I have a big
I think they forgot an answer, but.
That's okay.
Just make him one of those.
How are we gonna do this?
The questions that I'm getting from people already, you guys know the answers.
We need Charlie.
Understand how we can have it.
Yeah, go ask her a question.
Yes. No? Yes.
Trevor's scared to talk to Mrs. Keller. Jamin wasn't scared.
So, if we put a ruler up the side, is it still gonna be 4 inches tall?
We got more guys to do it, yes.
But you don't know how much dirt that is, and you can't answer 4 inches.
We need water.
So that's your job.
But we're not gonna do water by putting it in some thing. We're gonna fill something else with water. Okay. Okay, go ahead. Yes.
So it changes.
Somebody said put 4 inches of dirt in.
Fill this with water. Yeah, we're gonna pour it here, but we're gonna fill this up and then pour it. No dirt, no dirt. We're gonna throw it in water.
Milliliter.
You're a test site.
So,
We're gonna measure 4 inches. Yeah, go ahead, fill it
how
up.
could you measure 4 inches of dirt from a bag of dirt?
God bless you.
Now we'll talk to Heather about that in a second. I think
Like
we're
a-
still talking
Does anyone need help from Miss Keller?
about-
Like a little kitty cat.
Anyone need help?
Yes, I do.
Or does Mr. Schneider need help?
At the end of the first question / paragraph, it says, how could you measure 4 inches of dirt from a bag? Do we mean 4 inches of dirt
Yeah, I
put
saw that.
into our 2-liter pop bottles? Or do we mean 2 inches of dirt relative to the bag?
We need 4 inches of dirt put into our bottles.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just didn't want Cindy's getting down the wrong path.
No, 1A is asking the same thing in a bunch of different ways, like why is bringing it at, why are you pushing for
Okay.
But you can look it up, right? Now that you know what you have to do. There you go. So. Yes, sir, that, you don't have to have
Mason
any answer,
nature.
you have to have a label. Whatever one, right?
My
Mason
one
has a
question,
question.
it says, like, the amount of dirt is 4 inches, it says, the amount of, like, the measurement warriors, you can't.
That's what I did.
With inches.
One, two, makes sense.
So, you say that doesn't work like that, or what do you mean?
That's alright.
One, let's see.
One C.
Okay, so. Spindler system wide.
Yes, you said radius for glass, so you have to divide
Right. But it is a 3D measurement, right?
Yeah, just figure this out.
Okay, so in C, you actually do have to give a number. You have to figure out, if Riley's bottle over here has 4 inches of dirty off right here, which is not quite what it is. But if that was 4, how much dirt would that be? Because we can't say, I want 4 inches of dirt. What should we say? And that was your answer to 1A. And you said what for 1A?
You can't measure 30 different,
And then I need one more little addition on this. What should be in there? There should be measured in, maybe, but you can look that up. And once you find that out, how many of that is 4 inches of dirt inside of the pump? Mine's better. Does that work?
It's a super easy conversion. Once you find the units, switching out milliliters is super easy.
Thank you.
Maybe? Did you do research without your computer? Are you just gonna take what Riley said?
No.
Huh?
Answer radius is 5.1.
Alright, no. That is. Around it. No more than 5 centimeters wide.
I got it.
A little less than 4 centimeters tall. Can I just say I need it 5 by 5 by 4 boxes of dirt? But it'd be perfect, a little bit extra. Square would be, yeah, but
If you're using a rectangle, like if that was a rectangular shaped bottle instead of a surface letter, you would be totally right. But because it's a square, what do you need to do instead?
use the 2.14 and use the map. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. So I can't just get close and have a little extra dirt. No.
That would be too easy.
Yep, that would be the farmer way.
We're being mean to you today.
That would be the redneck way.
Every extra ounce of dirt costs you $1 million.
Yes. Imagine you're filling it with.
But I don't have $1 million.
Exactly.
I just wouldn't fill it.
$300 an hour.
You're mean.
Farmers would just get a bigger loan, right?
Yeah. Well, I got it. Yeah, I'm a genius.
Okay.
So, when you, the first two weeks, then about a year, it makes sense, yeah,
Yes.
It could be instead of 4 inches, what would you say to make it better? You don't have to have the exact number yet. You can say, oh, you should be saying 4.
Well, instead of, you could change to centimeters, but then you put it in the same thing.
Yeah, the centimeters and inches usually means
Yeah,
like a height is like a one-dimensional thing, right?
yeah.
And so we want something that's 3-dimensional.
Haley, did you get what you needed?
Yeah.
Milliliters is liquid. So
And did you read all the questions?
milliliters is 3-dimensional.
Yeah. Wait, all of them going down?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Because you're doing the work that's required in C.
Or just in general, like
Yeah.
whatever
You
your numbers
realize
are.
But it's real easy to cut and paste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then what am I supposed to put up here for the answer for this one?
Can you do that?
No. Well, you could.
And how could you? What would your label be?
Inches.
No.
No.
Can I go
You could convert it to centimeters. And then you could figure out how many, like, cups you need of each.
That's your answer for
So I have to
1A.
figure that.
And then all of the math
Yeah.
is in C. And what other information and what math does he need? That's just what information and what math. And then in C, you do the math.
Okay, so I can just copy and paste all
Yep.
this and go.
You sure can.
There you go. So where do we want to put it? And
Is a cubic centimeter.
because we're doing this sugar.
Found that. You. Okay, now
We're going to want to.
Need help?
That's all we're gonna use.
Sure you do. You know if you need help or not.
Well, I'm gonna figure this out. I don't know how to find the circumference of a.
In A, you answer, can you measure it in inches?
No.
No. Did you see those demonstrations I did? Does that stuff make sense to you? Do you know why you can't? You didn't see the demonstrations. I'm in the middle of answering a question. I'll be with you in a minute.
Maybe you've got a layer where your leaves or your plants, what are those things called that we're gonna plant? Seeds.
All right. 2 inches of water, right? 2 inches of water. Still 2 inches of water? Can you measure water in inches? Would it be any different if this was dirt instead of water? No. You can't measure dirt in inches. Because of this. So your answer up there is no, you can't measure it in inches. What should you measure it in? That's what you should be looking up if you don't know right off the top of your head. How do you measure something like that? And then in B, it asks you what other information and what formulas would you need in order to figure out exactly how much. And then in C, it wants you to figure out exactly how much 4 inches of dirt in a 2-liter pop bottle is. And then put the appropriate labels on everything while you're doing it. Now you're up.
How would I do 4 inches of dirt? These science things lie.
Go to the top. What did you search for?
How would you measure 4 inches of dirt in the bottom of a bag?
Oh, see, you got Boolean searches are awesome, but you got way too much boo in there. Cut it down.
Measuring 4 inches of dirt from a bag into a bottle.
Skip the bag. Because it doesn't matter what's in the bag. It only matters if you get 4 inches in your bottle.
Yes, exactly. Circumference and then times the height. Sorry, you're right. Area of the circle times the height.
How to measure 4 inches of dirt into a bottle. And your search results are make a cloud. How much is an inch of water? That's similar, right?
Yeah.
That's actually the example I just did up there for Ty.
Car.
Yeah, I know, it can't find me. I moved too fast. I moved too fast and I was close to it.
See, this is mostly comments. So
Right, but what do they say?
water refers to. They don't really need to apply to containers though.
Oh. So it says pot size and soil type right there.
Yeah.
So pot size matters?
Yes.
We have to ask him a question.
Okay.
He's calling each other right now.
So this is all about rain gauges and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So that's not what we want. So if you go back, these activities, transplant. I don't think you're going to find it with that search. So,
The top drawer is there, 18. Yeah.
How to cut cubic yards calculate?
so when we change the search to how to measure 4 inches of dirt, what does this say?
Jim's yard cut, yards cut.
And this one?
How to calculate cubic yards calculate.
Cubic yards. And this one?
Calculate soil volume and raised beds.
And this one?
Cubic feet and cubic yards.
Okay. So can you measure dirt by inches?
No.
No. Can we measure it by cubic inches?
No, yeah.
Okay, and cubic inches is a measure of
Yards. Soil.
volume.
So we have to find out how much volume is in 4 inches of dirt.
Yes, when it's inside a pot bottle, not inside a 55-gallon drum or inside a coffee cup.
How do I find that out then?
Very carefully. But now you have the answer to 1A. And when you go to figure out how to find out the volume of 4 inches in a 2-liter pot bottle, the information you need and the formula you need is your answer to B. And then when you do the math and get your answer, that's the answer to C.
Alright, so
Science has lots of math in it. Get over it.
this keeps on saying that I need cubic yards
Okay, or
cubic feet or something.
or cubic feet. Yep.
Yeah, but then I need to figure out all the dimensions of the bottle and then go from there.
Yes.
I don't know any of the dimensions of the bottle.
But what's the shape of cubic anything?
Square.
Okay.
And that's circle. So
But-
it still doesn't work.
Right. And it's not exactly square because it's
Yes, you put something water
height, it's width, and
Length.
depth. Okay, so it's 3 dimensions, and this has corners.
So we have to figure out on that.
Yes, you have to figure it on that.
You do that.
So how do you find the volume of what shape is that? A pot bottle's not a circle.
Haley has a car.
A circle is a circle on a chalkboard.
It's an oval.
No. How many dimensions are there in a pot bottle? On a chalkboard, I draw a circle. There's 2 dimensions, right? There's Y up and down. There's X left and right. And then on a pot bottle, you also have forwards and backwards. Z. So what's the volume of a pot bottle called? What's the shape of a pot bottle called? Starts with a C. You learned it a long time ago. That's something you can look up. Real easy. And then also how to find that. The correct label is the answer for A. The formula and all of the different pieces of information you need is the answer to B. And after you do the math and come up with a number, 4 inches of dirt equals this many of whatever it is you're supposed to find out, that's your answer to C. Yes.
Just search like dimensions, the radius of a radius of there.
It says so that you beat that.
I'm missing my song.
You guys on track?
Yeah.
You haven't asked a lot of questions today.
Yeah.
Does that mean you got this?
Because I'm getting done.
Jamie needs to tell you what he did.
I'm only getting done.
Oh. Where'd it go?
It's over there.
I do it
Over there.
sometimes.
Ooh.
So let's see.
Nice.
Take
Pull it out was one.
one more.
All right.
A little bit of plastic.
So how many seeds you got?
What is he putting in? Like we need to figure it out. No, like like how tall? How much?
3? Is there one over here somewhere? Or no?
Never mind.
You can hear it crack every now and then.
I don't see it.
It's her fault.
Okay, just 3. And there's water in the bottom. And there's a string. What's that string for? Okay. And how come the seeds aren't sinking to the bottom?
I used to be an in-person teacher, you know, I wasn't always just like,
What is that stuff?
Okay, so
I'm hoping I'll come to get Alvin to come visit you guys in February. Yeah,
That stuff right there.
okay,
What is
so
that?
we need to take
Kleenex. Oh,
I
All I need is
okay.
times
I don't have to worry about the loose screws anymore.
We should get a Sharpie and we should put your name on there. And then everybody will know whose it is.
okay, so the first one how much is there?
There's a blue one. It's skinnier. That'll be easier to write with.
21.13274.
Can you write Jamin right there?
That 2 needs to be converted into centimeters
Oh, that dumb thing doesn't want to write.
first before you
Let's
do
see if
that.
this one works. Yeah, this one works.
So 2 converted into centimeters. It's 2-inch radius. And if I want to measure it in milliliters, so that's the measurement, so we're going to call it milliliters. So, and a milliliter is a cubic centimeter.
There you go.
So we need
There you go. All right. Now I'm going to put a little mark right there.
5.
A little mark right there.
What's the equation for make sure you have your labels.
Okay. There you go.
Do we deal with the cylinder part of it? Or the
Yeah. You can get away with pretending.
Did you tell him which one you think is going to grow first?
You can get away with ignoring the curve part.
like, not this, just the cylinder part of
Yep.
it.
You can just pretend that it goes all the way down,
Okay.
just like this.
So then we just measured the whole bottom. The height, the length, and the depth.
Is that right? Or is there another way to find the volume? What is the shape? Did you figure that out?
A cylinder.
Okay. Is there another way to figure out the volume of a cylinder?
Probably. A formula.
I'll bet you there is. Go find one. And then you don't have to do anything but measure how tall it is. Because the other stuff is, you can measure the diameter fairly easy, but to measure the X and the Z with a straight metric ruler, no, because you got a curved object. There's a better way to measure the diameter.
Forget English.
Who said that out loud?
Oh, Daniel, you're living on the edge over here.
Forget English measurements, okay?
Okay, better.
Oh, he means he wants to use metric.
Yes. In science, all numbers are metric.
Okay, so
Pi times 5.08 squared.
Where would I find a math equation from you, Mr. Schneider? Again?
I don't know. I've never opened one of those.
so do we get
They used to be in the front.
Yeah,
To be honest, I never have either of them this year.
They used to be in the front right after the handbook part.
So this way, once we get the height, it figured out we're going to be the air.
Oh, no.
Volume is going to be a milliliter.
See, he's in the colored pages right after the handbook part.
It's centimeters cubed.
And it's going to be in the math skills, I'm sure.
Yes.
Round to the.
Thank you.
Mr. Shire, how many places do you like?
I like at least 2 decimals, and if Mrs. Kellert wants 4, I'd be okay with that too.
What? How many?
Okay, so I got that. So you have to find the radius of it too.
Oh,
So
what do we know about radius?
it's half of the diameter.
And can you find the diameter of a pop bottle?
Probably.
Is that on the web, or could you measure it?
You can measure it.
What are you going to measure it with?
Times.
You're not going to measure it with a straight plastic ruler, because you have curved
Well, then you just
surface.
Google it.
Maybe.
4, 'cause he wants 4 inches of dirt.
That's all you can do because if you can't measure it.
Oh yeah, you can measure it.
How?
Yeah, times 2.5.
That would be the thinking part.
4 times
That would be the thinking part. And maybe somebody else already figured it out, and you could just go have a chat with them.
No computer.
Like Alex.
Okay.
What do we need for?
It's noon. You have 30 minutes of class left,
10.6.
Oh, lovely.
and we're probably going to have a wrap up at the end.
Oh, no.
Can I use 2 of that because I can't find the symbol?
Insert
Yeah, I went there.
symbol. More symbols. And is there a search? No. You're in currency symbols. Is there math symbols? I would say yeah. Or you can go to the web and
Number form.
oh, that should be it, shouldn't it? You might have to scroll. There you go.
You would have gotten the radius.
Bingo.
Answer.
This in that drawer, please.
How do you convert
What's the diameter of the pop out?
A milliliter is equal to the same thing.
What?
You're gonna Bing that, right?
What?
You're gonna Bing that, right?
Bing, maybe.
Well, I mean, I don't get it. Do I that says cubic centimeters, do I...
Well, that's like what you get when you convert it to volume.
Is that what you want for volume?
Centimeters. But no, you want milliliters.
No, I know, I'll change it to
Okay, I'm
milliliters. I'm just
sorry.
starting with 2 liters.
Is there a way to convert cubic centimeters into liters?
What? Let's go.
I don't know.
I don't
Or milliliters? Either one.
Oh, sorry, I didn't think about that.
Because liters and milliliters are almost the same, right?
Yeah, that's easy.
So is there a way to do that conversion?
I was putting it back in the middle of the screen.
And did I not tell you that if you do a whole bunch of searches on Bing, you get a $10 Amazon gift card?
Do you really?
Yeah.
I don't know that. Do
You
you
just
have to
gotta-
sign up for it?
Yes.
Okay.
But it's easy.
Because Amazon is like the wow.com.
You can also get like Applebee's and that kind of thing.
How many searches?
Walmart.
How many searches do you need?
It's like 500.
Really?
Well, you need 500 points. I don't know how many searches you have to do to get a point.
Parker's gonna be doing search after search.
I'm at 620 something, so I could have a $10 gift certificate anytime I want it.
Yeah?
What if you get like double that,
Google.
and you could you have a $20 gift certificate?
No, but you can have 2 10s.
That's fair.
Bing.
If I'm measuring in the volume
Why did you
area,
Google Bing?
Okay.
how many is in a 2 liter?
How many of those are metric?
All of them. No, none of them.
So, how many of those is in a 2-liter bottle? I don't know. You're going to need to figure out how to convert between cups and
How many
liters.
ounces is a 2 liter bottle?
Yes,
No, seriously though, how many ounces?
that's a good question. I don't know the answer. Is there a bottle with a label on it? Is that a 1-liter bottle on the back?
Where?
Straight back. Yeah, the vinegar thing. It looks like a liter. I think there's another one over there inside that white bag that I'm sure is a liter. It might tell you how many ounces there are.
How do you drink this?
I don't.
Gross.
I don't.
1 liter. 33.8
Question, you want me to tell Mr. Hold that too? Okay, I can do that.
Schneider.
I would love to.
I got the centimeters for this one, and then this one it says in metric, and metric is centimeters, so that's just 4 if I have the centimeters for that one.
Do I need to convert that back to inches?
What's it asking
Oh.
for?
Does
Lenny swap.
but how did you get centimeters?
Metric and metric. Have it in metric.
Shouldn't your answer be milliliters up there?
5B. What is proper measure for a
I'm
hand?
finding the height of the dirt in the thing,
I don't understand what it's asking.
so it would be centimeters, and
Okay.
the milliliters would be centimeters cubed.
Can I use this for a calculator?
That's why Mrs. Kellert was asking me about number 4. I assumed that you were going to stay in milliliters for number 3 and convert it to centimeters. But is centimeters... What did they ask you? What is the height of dirt? Yep, you're okay. You can skip number 4. Number 4 doesn't make sense.
Okay, we converted all of the English measurements over to metric, and then we took the pi times 5.08, which is the radius, and we squared that, and that equaled 15.96 centimeters squared. And then we took that times 10.6. If it's 67.6. And that equaled
liters.
162.50
No, ounces.
And then it was squared, so we took 3 back.
Okay.
What would that be?
I don't know. What are you talking about?
67.6 ounces is 2 liters.
Okay.
Because that's volume then, because we had took our...
Is ounces metric?
No.
Okay, so remember order of operations.
So I have to convert it to
Pi
metric.
r squared. You want
Liters
square
is
root
metric.
r.
Liters is metric, so it's a 2 liter bottle.
Yeah.
You did that right.
So-
I'm sure did you do that? I'm confused, Mr. Schneider.
Apparently. I'll be there in a second. Guys, I just got asked a question on number 4. That Mrs. Keller asked me about number 4 before. And I was lost on number 3. Therefore, number 4 doesn't make any sense. You can just cross it out.
4, just get rid of it.
The answer that you give for number 3 should be in milliliters, question mark?
Yes.
No.
Wait.
It should be in centimeters. It should be a height.
Yeah.
Yes. And I blew that off when I read through this. I went way too fast. I blew that off and said, okay, they're going to answer in milliliters, and then they're going to convert it in number 4 to centimeters. No, I was wrong. You're going to convert it in number 3. You're going to cross out number 4 and just let it sit
Can we
there.
just
So
get
in
rid of
number
number
3,
4?
find out what the height of it.
Just leave it there.
Yeah, you can get rid of number 4, that's fine.
That was my fault.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I didn't think they were going to convert it from milliliters to centimeters, but they did. They had to.
So,
So you're still on
B.
B. What other information and what math do you need? Before you can tell me how much dirt is in 4 inches, what do you have to do?
Tell you the volume of a 2-liter bottle.
Do you need the volume of the whole 2-liter bottle?
We need the volume of the 4 inches.
Yeah, we need the volume of only 4 inches of a 2-liter bottle.
How much volume?
Write that down. That's what you need to know. That's exactly what you need to do there.
That would be
And
my
then-
other information.
And then you got to figure out the other part of this and math.
How much volume is in 4 inches of dirt?
No,
How much?
4 inches of a 2-liter bottle. It doesn't matter if it's dirt or water or popcorn or seltzer water. 4 inches is 4 inches inside the bottle. So you're good there.
Okay.
Now you got to do the second half of that question. What other information and math?
Wait, wouldn't that be my other information?
This is your other information. What math? How are you going to do the math to figure out what 4 inches tall, what volume 4 inches tall in a 2-liter bottle is?
I have no idea.
That's what you're going to look up. How to calculate the volume of 4 inches tall 2-liter bottle. And that's why it's not.
That's what I got for the cylinder.
Volume of a cylinder. The radius is 17 and the height is 31. Says who?
I measured it.
17 and 31 what? Miles?
Centimeter.
Pounds. And it doesn't like that. And where are you?
Hey, boss, set her down.
On Google.
Yeah, and you can't cite this because you have to go there. This is probably good stuff, and it wants you to get rid of the CM. See how it went black instead of red? You need to know that it's centimeters, and you need to show that it's centimeters because you got to have all your work in that Word document. And this is probably correct. But that label is what? Yeah. Volume isn't a label. Volume is a thing. Volume is an idea. So, you're probably going to want to go to that Math Warehouse site, and read a little bit, and figure it out, and then go to Word, and then type out the formula, and then stick in the numbers, and then write down the answer. But you can use a calculator to get you the answer.
Yeah.
That's no big deal. And then this will also probably show you what the label is in that reading. Now you're almost done?
Yeah.
Cool.
Which is, oh wait, that's changed. Now I even did that number for 4 inches. That's 81.
Have you done something on your Word document to make your answers easy to find?
Yeah, I'm gonna color
I
this.
will highlight them in a minute.
Now it's 86.
No, I did not.
Is there a little gap so that we can clearly see where your answer starts, where the question stopped, or change colors, or something?
I did not do that.
Do I have what?
Spider things. Just cords that plug into here. So.
I don't know. Nope.
It's cool.
It's a spider octopus. It's got like one USB out this side, and it's got about 8.
USB splitter.
Yeah.
I have a lot of those.
One of the guys that works at the co-op has a really cool one.
Well, I'll have a wireless keyboard in my wireless mouse. But look, that one has.
You've got about 10 minutes of work time left. Look for the formula. Get better at finding things. Mrs. Keller, have we decided on a standard number of decimals for our answers?
I like 2. I think 2's a good number.
Okay. 2 decimals on your answers, please. And labels on everything. Numbers are no good without labels.
Trevor's going to ask you what the equation is.
If you tell me the answer is 4, I'm going to assume it's $4 million that you owe me.
No.
No.
It would be 81.0.
Trevor's going to ask you what the equation is. Don't help him.
Yeah, he asked them a minute ago.
I know like how to say it, but I don't know how to write it down.
Well, isn't that a skill? Isn't that a skill that you might need so that you can get through Votech or college or life?
Probably.
Work on that. Try stuff until your search gives you what you want.
I need like even try on this though.
But last time I was back here, we talked about volume of a cylinder. It's 4 inches tall.
Yeah.
What else do you need to know?
How much volume?
In order to calculate the volume, what information do you have to plug in?
How many ounces are in?
No.
2.
That's a straight conversion. That's not a calculation.
So this is in a good place.
You need something that's going to explain to you the volume of a cylinder. Yes.
Like this.
Like this. What is the formula to calculate the volume of a cylinder? Well, that ought to be just about
Radius.
perfect.
So I had to find the radius times the height. What's the PI?
And you've been through Algebra 1 already. Radius times radius, we shouldn't write that.
So it'd be r squared.
Yeah, there you go. So this is pi r squared h.
Pi r squared h. So, okay.
So now you got the formula. That was the part of the answer for B, right? And then you got to figure out how to use the formula for C. And then get an answer. Yeah, or you can write down exactly what they said. Or you can go back to your Google search and put in formula for volume of a cylinder, and you'll come up with 62,000.
How do you make the pi button?
I'd go back to Google and redo your search, and then just copy and paste. Because you got to be able to find one that has it written out.
So,
right?
What did you say to type in? The volume of a cylinder.
And you need a formula. Yes.
I can't. I'll go away. Now leave.
Ty?
Why don't you just
You okay? You getting there?
Yeah. It was only play the stuff. I just don't get it.
I know, that's why
You take something like a bag, you pour so much into it, like 400 milliliters.
Oh, yeah?
And you pour it into a bigger container, it's just gonna stay there. It's not gonna be as big.
But it's not as tall, right?
Yeah.
If we take, what do you buy that comes in a bag? M&M's. And we put them into a bag of dog food. It's going to be like 1 M&M tall. So, what do we need to volume? What do we need to measure rather than the height? We need the volume of the container. So, when we're talking about this particular example, and everything on your worksheet is dealing with the lesson we did last time, or the build that we did last time. So we're talking about 2-liter pop bottles. So if we have 4 inches of dirt in a 2-liter pop bottle, what's the volume? The answer to that is 1C. That's what 1C is asking you.
Why do we get her back? I hear you crying about questions.
1B is asking you, what do you need to figure out before you can do the math to get the answer to 1C. And 1A is asking you, why can't you measure it in inches? And that's what you just told me. Because inches is wrong. When you put it in a different size container, it's not the same inches.
No, I have it pretty well under wraps, I think.
Can you prove that?
Can I prove it?
Can you prove that?
Oh, I've only got
I'm doing good, Alex.
Can you tell her what you did to get 1, A, B, and C? Because the speaking of what you're thinking is also a skill that you need to work on.
The only thing I have a question on is the last on number 5, like what they mean by what state of matter should be measured in milliliters. Like, I'm just confused on the question itself.
Can you wait a minute? Okay, sorry. You good with 1, A, B, and C?
I should be if I can find the volume of the bottle.
Okay.
Oh, okay, so
You got it turned off?
it's really that simple. Okay,
It
and
just
the
doesn't
next
like
one
me.
is what is the proper
Okay.
measure for a handful of sand?
You just asked me about the volume of a 2-liter bottle, but that's not what you're searching for.
Yeah.
Why aren't you searching for the volume of a 2-liter bottle? What shape is a 2-liter bottle?
Just sits there.
Should you be looking for the volume of a cylinder? Because 1B asks you, how do you do the math?
Okay.
Right?
Otherwise,
Don't
that's
you need a
all
formula
I have,
for that?
and then I'm done.
You're in geometry, right?
Yeah.
It's all about formulas and crap, right? So, what are you going to do?
Oh, I got 785.4.
Somebody looked that up before. Imagine that.
Well,
And there's a formula.
I took the formula of
So you should copy and paste that formula into 1B,
and that was pi
because you need that. And 1B asks you about information you need, and you wrote and wrote and wrote, which is the first part. That's the information. And what math? That's right there, the formula. So now you're done with 1B. And in 1C, you have to do what you wrote about in 1B and come up with a number. So your answer should be a number with a label for C, but it should show all the words. Cool? And remember to cross out number 4. You don't have to do 4 because I was wrong.
Can I go to the bathroom?
Yeah. You have to be really quick though.
Do
You have about 4 minutes of class time.
we have a basket? A ruler to find
Okay.
out what it was.
Okay.
Do we have the computer?
What do you mean
Next
by
time I'll
this?
convert it.
Like, what is
Just take it.
You're going to measure
Take
liquids?
you away now. So we want you back.
Nobody
Yeah.
wants to see it.
We'll take points off of an answer that's not exact like that. We want to be as exact as possible, so make sure you're ready to listen.
Okay.
Okay. So your answer, Gracie, you measure liquids in milliliters. Do you measure solids in milliliters?
not really? But
Well, then milliliters is not the right answer, right? Because you don't have to have a number. I just need to know the label.
yeah.
What is the proper measure? What's the label?
Yeah.
So if I got a handful of sand and I'm going to measure it, first of all, what am I going to stick it in? Think about that a second.
Cup.
Okay. And then, can we have cups in science?
Yeah.
Only metric numbers.
What?
Only
Oh, well, I
metric
meant like I
yes,
didn't mean
yes. You're on the right track. That's the right thing. But now, what would the measurements on the side of that be? Because we don't measure solids in milliliters.
So it'd be like centimeters. Or... No, I don't know.
Look it up. More points on Bing.
Do you want this answer centimeters cubed or milliliters?
Which is more right?
Well, milliliters. Because
You can measure solids and liquids in milliliters. Says who?
So she said you can measure sand in milliliters because it does like a liquid. It fills the container.
I can measure sand in gallons too, though.
Yeah.
I can go get a 5-gallon bucket and fill it with sand, and I got 5 gallons of sand.
Yeah.
Is that the appropriate measure for sand? What's the difference between sand and water?
Water's liquid and sand.
Solid and liquid. Is one of those proper for solids and the other one for liquids, or can you use both of them for both?
You use both.
Are you making things up, or do you know?
I'm making things up.
When you're making things up, you should look things up, and then you know.
So wait, so what's the...
Mr. Schneider, that might be my fault.
No, that's okay. That's a vagary. In the real world, it's a vagary. And I would like them to get that clear in their own heads so that they're not doing silly, vague things and they can do precise science things. Okay?
Milliliters are only for liquid in science.
Times height. Wow.
Trevor, what's up?
Eric, what did you put up that formula, right?
I don't know, do you?
Daniel told me I did, so I'm going to go with Daniel.
You copied and pasted the formula. You have numbers in there,
And then I substituted.
but your numbers don't have any labels.
Yeah.
So you owe me $31 million. Because if I get to decide what that 31 is,
17 squared. So
well, right. 17 squared times $31 million. That's what you owe me.
let's find out what that is.
Or you can figure out how to put labels on them. You.
Okay, so I figured out the cylinder. Now what do I do?
And the numbers that you put in don't have labels on them. But the numbers up here and the numbers down there do.
Okay, so
And I don't see a plain old bare formula. A formula with no numbers in it.
I have to do this formula?
You have to put the bare naked formula. Remember from last year?
No.
First thing you do is put down the bare formula with no numbers, and then you substitute numbers. Formula, isolate, substitute, solve, label, evaluate, fizzle.
Okay, if we put the bare formula up here, high
The bare formula should be the very first thing in your work also.
at each spot. Okay, we need to go back. We need to add bare formula and labels to everything.
Yes.
Labels on them.
I don't.
All right, people, it's wrap-up time.
Sorry to tell you, they're broken up.
Don't forget to save your work. Last year, over in the right-hand corner of the board, that little 3 foot by 3 foot section, or 1 meter by 1 meter section, I wrote formula, isolate, substitute, solve, label, and evaluate. Remember that?
No.
And I left it on the board for like a month. Fizzle, formula, isolate, substitute, solve, label, evaluate. Every time you have a math problem to do, that's what should happen. Start by writing down the bare formula, all letters, no numbers, none of your information from this problem, just the formula. Then you should isolate the one thing you don't know. You rearrange your equation. You do algebra. After you've isolated, using your little letters, instead of 17 centimeters cubed, which is how many characters you have to type? Come on, people, it's 5.
Yeah, 5.
Yeah. Instead of doing that, you could rearrange r squared instead of 17 centimeters cubed, which I saw on somebody's paper and I don't know if it's right or not. Okay? So you use the formula to rearrange. You isolate the one variable you don't know, then you stick in the numbers from this problem, substitute. You solve. You make sure that you have labels on everything, and then you evaluate the labels to make sure it makes sense. If you take centimeters times centimeters times centimeters and you come up with grams, did you do the math right? Wow, I sure hope you're going to stop and backtrack and figure out where all your numbers came from. Centimeters times centimeters times centimeters, your label on your answer should be cubic centimeters. How do you measure the size or displacement of an engine in a motorcycle? What does CC stand for? Cubic centimeters. CM with the little 3 raised up. Yeah. Used to be done with motors too. Only motors were measured in. When I was your age, I was driving a 1964 Galaxy.
What?
With a 390. When you talk about the motor, it was a 390. 390 what? There's no label. Cubic inches. So you already know how to measure displacement. You already know how to measure volume. New engines. My 2003 F-150 has a 5.4 badge on the side of it. There's an L behind it. It's a 5.4 liter engine. Motorheads, mechanical guys, car guys know about what those translate into in the old system. If they're older than you guys.
Because 1 liter, 1,000 milliliters worth a liter.
1,000 milliliters is a liter, yes.
1 milliliter equals 1 cubic centimeter.
There you go. Did everybody figure that out today?
Yeah.
1 milliliter is the same thing as 1 cubic centimeter?
Yeah, I found that out early.
Yeah. 3-cylinder.
But might be
So a 1,000 cc motorcycle engine?
No, it's a car.
Yes, but everybody knows that motorcycles have 1,000 cc's, right? The bigger ones that go down the highway? The big fat ones with 2 like 60-year-old people on them and all the bags on the side and the big cruisers? Yeah. Those are about 1,000. Some of them are like even up to 1,800 now.
Listen, you all know I'm terrible at math, but I'm really good at English. And as I'm walking around, I can't help you necessarily figure out the math part of it. But as you're sitting there talking to me, most of you are saying the equations out loud. Trevor kept wanting us to give him the equation, and he's sitting there saying, so I need to find out that the volume equals this much dirt times this much. Okay.
Okay.
And he's saying the equation. So sometimes just stop and think about what you're saying.
Learn to convert words into math. Your life will be easier if you do. And that's not something anybody can hand you. You have to work with it. You have to understand it. And that's what this exercise today was all about. Are all of you semi-close to done? And not going to have an issue turning this in right at the beginning of class on Wednesday? If you have issues, do you know how to get a hold of us? Did you see the new note in Edmodo? I added a new note with all of our contact information. Mrs. Keller added it to today's assignment. And I also went back and added it to the About Me. So if you can't remember where to find it, the very first thing we did was About Me, right? Just go all the way to the bottom in Edmodo and there's contact information in the About Me. If you can't find it anywhere else. If you have questions between now and then and can't get them answered, that's on you. And don't wait until 11 o'clock at night on Tuesday. Because I ain't going to help you at 11 o'clock at night.
How about 12?
I'm too old for that. Besides that, I got to get up at 5:45 a.m. tomorrow and drive to Burke and be there before 8.
What time does our school?
8:15, but the building is full of kids at 7:45.
Why?
They're in there because they know the teachers have to be there. They can go get help when they want it.
Whoa.
That's like, oh, I guess that's like us getting here at 8 o'clock.
I know. Mind blown, right?
Yes, but you do that.
Yes.
Friday only a half day.
Because there's a football game at 2 o'clock.
Because the whole school is after the gym.
We play in Marty at 2.
Lights. So that's play in the day. So then everyone else gets.
Who is in Mr. Holbeck's SRB on Tuesdays and Thursdays? Are
Which
you
ones?
going to be in the afternoon?
Yeah.
Are you going to be coming in here during that SRB to check your plant?
Yes.
Grab him.
Take him with.
Take him with you.
Yep.
Wait, he's in. Oh, yeah.
He's in Tuesdays and Thursdays only.
He's only checking Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yes. Okay?
Wait.
I'll try to remember.
Every other day that gives you.